Let's do some mental yoga. I want you to think about, in your sensory body, experiences where you feel tension and experiences where you feel more release. This among many other sensations are the two basic sensations that you go through in your day-to-day life and across time. There's a little tension and a little release. Tension, release. For example, actually, if you listen to a song or you watch a movie, you can pay attention to these body states that essentially either the songwriter or the movie writer is trying to create in you, right? So as a movie, for example, as you watch a movie, there are moments where they create tension, like they get people kind of angry or they kind of build up some suspense. That's the moment of tension that they create, but they can't keep you in tension forever. So there's a moment where they create release, relax. You can see this in comedy, for example. In comedy, when somebody tells a joke, and first they create a really awkward, tense experience, and they leave the audience feeling like, oh, what are we gonna do? But then they give you release with a punchline. Oh, it's okay. They said a weird thing, but we're all gonna be fine. How do you do this mental yoga is to notice. Notice when there's tension, notice when there's release. Notice it in every walk of your life. When you walk into a room and you see somebody has fought and they're like, like you can feel tension. You can walk into a room and feel icy tension when a couple or a couple of people have just fought. So why you're playing with this, all you're doing is noticing. The skill is notice. Oh, notice tension, notice release, notice tension, notice release. Is you're learning to distance from it. The thing about us as humans is we are very capable of taking that tension on our own shoulders. Like suddenly there's tension in the room. Oh, what do I do? How do I fix it? When do I solve it? So what you're trying to do with mental yoga is to distance yourself from it, to notice it, but not do anything to attach to it, to address it, to fix it, to solve it. When you walk into a room and two people have been tense, it's not your job to solve their tension. When your partner is angry or hurt or tense about a thing, you can listen, you can be a support, but it's not your job to solve their tension. It's just to be a witness to that tension. And so learning to notice this aspect of life, the tension, release, allows you to sit with tension, but in a state of comfort, as opposed to it's essentially the practice of getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. This is the way to do it. So it's not your job to save people from tension. It's not even your job to save yourself from tension. It's just your job to notice it. Learn to develop comfort and understanding of it. So in your brain, when you're in tension, it might sound like, oh, there's that tension again. I do this all day. There's nothing new or different about it. This is a moment of tension. It's essentially the ability to sit with tension and allow it to pass, and to notice that it happens all day in all walks of life. And the more that you see it and notice it and play with this concept of, okay, tension, release, that's just tension, the less you feel like you have to act right in that moment, the less you feel you have to solve somebody else's problem, the less you feel like you have to do anything associated with it, and the less you code it in a certain way. So this is the funny thing. Your tension release happens in positive aspects and negative aspects. So for example, when you start to fall in love with somebody, it's tension and a little release. Do they love me? I don't know. Maybe they do. It's the same experience. You're just coding it differently. So when you learn to decode it as just tension release, whether it was positive or negative, you learn to move through these feeling states, sensation states in your body, and you learn to do them with more control and comfort. So this is Angela Skirtu. Please like and subscribe for more information, and you can see me as a therapist by submitting a contact at therapistInSt.Louis.com.